So today I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm going to actually bring people into my kitchen, which I don't normally do, because if you pan around, you might see some scary stuff like baby handprints on things, whatever. But these are two of my really, really good friends, and they're over often, and we spend a lot of time in the kitchen hanging out together. So I thought it'd be a great idea to kind of do something with them today. So today we're going to make something called Mardi Gras pasta, which is basically something I ate at Papa Do's and really, really enjoyed. And I happened to look around in my kitchen, and now let me preface this. My kitchen, my fridge is probably going to be a lot different than other people's kitchen and fridge because I do cook. So when I looked at my fridge, I happened to have andouille sausage and linguine and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be a good thing to do today. Jana, all right, so what we need you to do first is we're going to boil some water.
So should that be hot water or cold water?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I've always heard hot water boils faster than cold.
What? Okay.
But cold water, hot water freezes faster than
Okay, let's do lukewarm. Lukewarm, let's fill it up. Now,
to the top?
No, not always to the top, because you want to leave some room to put the noodles in there. But let's get it to about, maybe a little higher, just a little bit higher than there. Because it depends on how much pasta you're going to use too. Another thing to kind of keep in mind, people just think you're supposed to put the noodles in there, and you really want something to kind of keep the noodles breaking up a little bit. So I put a little bit of olive oil. That's good, yeah. So I actually put a little bit of olive oil in the water. And because I'm extra, and I think everything should have some seasoning or something to it, I actually also put in some herbs. Now this right is herbs. This is some fancy herbs, but honestly you can use whatever you have in your kitchen. If you got one of these, like Italian seasoning, you can get it in any store. You can use something like this. But for today, I'm going to be using this, where I got this from Atlanta. So what we're going to do is take some olive oil. Again, I'm extra. This is white truffle oil. Everybody ain't got white truffle oil in their fridge. So for this, again, I just kind of gauge it. We're going to probably do about, I have to make food for some of my friends who are sick. So we're probably going to use all 3 boxes of linguine. So honestly, about a capful should be enough, because you don't want the noodles to be greasy. You just don't want them to be stuck together.
So you put that in the boil.
Right.
Okay.
And it gives it flavor too, which again, I think everything should have flavor. And when I say flavor, I don't mean it should be salty. I just think everything that you cook, from noodles on up, should be a building of the palate. So, all right, I put some of that in there. I'm going to put my herbs. And again, I just kind of eyeball it. So I'm going to do about a couple more.
All right, so why do some people put the noodles in and then let the water boil? Then some say you should let the water boil, then put the noodles in.
I believe that, and again, it's up to your preference. Now, I have some people who just put it right in there, but to me, I feel like you run a chance of the noodles getting too soggy, and then they get that mushy consistency. And honestly, noodles should not be completely cooked. They should have a little bit of bite in them still. Not hard, but not mushy. And I feel like if you just put them in there, you run the risk of them just kind of getting really mushy. I think you should wait for the water to boil. Once it boils, it takes about 5 or 10 minutes. So the first step of this process is we want to make sure we got all our vegetables cut up. So for the Mardi Gras pasta, we got several different produce that we're going to use. The first being is a bell pepper melody. And basically what that is your green bell pepper. Why is that only green bell pepper? Let's rinse that off, sorry. Sorry, ma'am. You got your green bell pepper, your orange bell pepper, your yellow bell pepper, and your red bell pepper. Okay? And then we're going to also use I like to use a purple onion because it doesn't have as much bite. So a purple onion, and because this thing right here, she's not a big fan of onions, we're going to use what we call shallots. Shallots are kind of in the onion family, but they don't have the kind of potency that a onion has. And actually, I thought I heard for the purple onion too, because the purple onion is not as strong as some of the other onions. Okay, so you shouldn't even you shouldn't cry or anything when you cut this one. Okay. Okay. So the other thing is there's different ways to cut, right? There's different ways. There's chopped, there's minced, and there's sliced. So what we're doing today, actually, we want to slice it because we don't want it to be minced in, because it just, from presentation perspective, it just doesn't look cute. So when you're slicing, we want to make them thin because we don't want the peppers to be too overpowering. So we're just going to make them like this, okay? Do that, okay? So Jana, I'm going to have you take over, and basically this is what I'm looking for, okay?
Okay.
All right, so while Jana's working on that, the other big item is the meat. So when you're making the Mardi Gras pasta, which they have at Papados, if you haven't been to Papados, please go there and try it. It will change your life. There is andouille sausage, shrimp, and you have a choice of crawfish or crab meat. We're going to do the andouille sausage today. We're also going to do the shrimp, and we're going to do the crawfish. We're going to do crawfish today, okay? So what I'm going to have Lysandria do is she's going to go ahead and cut up our andouille sausage, and it's important. You don't want to cut your sausage, especially for a meal like this, like you would cut like beanies and weenies. You know how your mama used to make you beanies and weenies, and they be all just straight? You know, we don't want this to look like a hot dog, okay? Basically is what I'm saying. So I'm going to ask you to scoot over for me, love. Alright, so I'm going to cut this part off. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of cut at an angle. And you got to kind of find your feel. So this is me, and you see how I'm kind of tilting the knife a little bit. And again, I'm still learning this process, but you got to kind of cut. You want to kind of cut against the grain. Make them a little thick, but not too thick, okay?
Okay.
And again, see the detail in this. This is good andouille. Okay? And I'm kind of cutting at an angle because I don't want it to look like beans and weenies, basically. Okay, so now that we have all of the vegetables cooked up, the next thing we want to do is start sauteing the vegetables. You want to have it on a medium heat because you don't want to burn the vegetables. And I use butter. I am a butter girl. For those of you who are health conscious and you're trying to cut back, you can definitely use olive oil. But for me, it's going to be butter today. And I'm going to do about 3 slices of this, and I will again let you guys know that it looks like it's going to be equivalent to 3 tablespoons of butter, okay? And again, I have my heat on medium, and we're going to let that butter melt down there. And then what we're going to start with, we're going to saute our mushrooms, our green onions, and then we're going to put the andouille sausage in there. Now, another thing I want to point out is everything that we're putting in this pan is going to actually be a build-up to the sauce. So as we're cooking things, the renderings that's going to be left over in here are going to be used to kind of make that sauce amazing, okay? So now that butter has cooked down, Jana, what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and put the mushrooms and the green onions in there, okay? In there. And let me just see that technique. See that technique? That was dope. That was, Fred, you on your way. And while Jana is mixing that around, I'm just going to check on these noodles because, again, you don't want them to get soggy, but you don't want them too hard either. And we're just going to see how they loosen up because there's no reason for them to stick because we got that olive oil that we put in there. And again, you see how we put those herbs in there. So now you got your herbs in the noodles, and we put some salt in here. So these noodles should have really good flavor, which is what we want. Okay, so we want to kind of cook that down to when it's kind of, you want the, what's the word I'm looking for? You want them to kind of be smothered, and you want to be able to see the brownness on them, and you want the mushrooms to kind of be browner. So we got a little ways to go on that. Okay, so I just checked the noodles, and they look pretty much done. So I'm going to have Jana go ahead and pour the water out. Now, Jana, don't pour out all the water because we want to keep some water in there because we don't want the noodles to get sticky and dry, okay? And Lysandria,
that'll work out.
All right, so now I've also looked in at the mushrooms, and they're sweaty. They're at the consistency that we want. So Lysandria, those andouille sausage that you did earlier, let's go ahead and throw those in there. And mind you guys, the andouille sausage are already cooked. They're smoked. But again, I'm really doing this to build the flavor that we're looking for, and then brown them up a little bit. Okay? So again, we're just going to mix those through. Pour out more? Pour out just a little bit more, Jana. And Lysandria, I'm going to let you take that over, okay?
Thank you.
All right. And just kind of mix all those mushrooms and everything through on there if you would. Alright, so those look good. So now that we have those in there, we're going to go ahead and the vegetable medley that you did with Jana earlier. go ahead and put that in there as well.
Into this?
Yes, just go ahead. And as Lysandra is mixing,
Watch this technique. Watch this technique. See?
and go ahead and mix all that together. And then earlier, not on film, I had chopped up some garlic, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there as well. And we're going to let all that just kind of mix together. We're going to let all that just mix together. Okay. And once Lysandra has all of that in there really, really good, we're going to put the top back on it and let that just kind of simmer down. We want those bell pepper mix to kind of get soft for us. Okay, and I think that looks good, Lysandra, actually. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put the top on that. All right. All right, and then again, we want to keep it on medium heat. We do not want to scorch the noodles, okay? And again, we're going to, once this is done, we're going to take all that out, and then we're going to start building our sauce. And pretty much the sauce is everything. The sauce is what's going to really bring the whole meal together. We're also going to do shrimp. And what I like to do is I don't like to put the raw shrimp in with the rest of the food, so I cook my shrimp on the side by itself. And so Jana's going to help me with that because apparently when she's been making it in the past, it's been a little rubbery. So we're going to work on that today. We're going to need more butter because, again, I like butter. But we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to have her do butter, but I'm also going to add some truffle oil. You do not have to do this, but I love the taste of truffle oil, and I think it just gives everything an extra pop. And we want our shrimp to pop. It's a part of the dish, but it's also a lively part of the dish. Okay? So, Jana, what we're going to do is we're not trying to cook the shrimp all the way through at this point, but what we want to do is kind of get that little cute little grill marks on it. It's really just more for the look, the presentation, but I just like the way it looks, okay? And let's use this owl just because it's a little bigger. Alright, and then again, this is not something you have to do, but I'm going to add just a little bit of truffle oil. Have y'all ever smelled truffle oil?
I can smell it.
You smell it strong, right?
So you don't put the whole, just half of a cup?
Yep.
Half of a cap?
Yep, that's all you need. Okay, so we want to go ahead and get started because Jana's butter is moving. Alright, so basically what we want to do, we're just going to place these on here, Jana. Okay, go ahead.
Are you OCD and want them to go all the same way?
No, I just want them on there, placed in there. It's like they all have their own little home.
I can't just pour them all in there?
No.
That'd be good for you.
Because we're trying to get those marks.
I think you can inseam until I get them all on.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're basically trying to do is we don't want to really cook the shrimp all the way through. We're just trying to get these little lines on here. And so what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and just flip these over real quick, and then we're going to take them off. Okay? Already taken off the shrimp that Jana has done, and Lysandra has taken off her sausage and bell pepper mix. And what you see in here right now is just crawfish. Now, this crawfish you can buy at Walmart, you can buy it at Food Line as well. And basically it's already cooked. So what we're doing, we're not trying to cook it anymore. We're just trying to warm it up a little bit so it's not cold. And I also want some of that buttery flavor that we have in the truffle oil that we have from the shrimp. And parsley, I don't know, I just like parsley. And so I'm just going to add a little parsley to it. Again, we don't need to add anything to this crawfish because it's already cooked and already has its own natural flavor. Now, I will tell you though, crawfish is a little fishy. And as somebody who's not a big fan of like fishy stuff, be careful with the crawfish. So if you're not really into seafoody type stuff, then you want to kind of just chill a little bit on the crawfish. So Jana, would you mind? Let me get you a spoon. We're going to put this crawfish in that bowl, okay? Here you go.
Decide that you like cooking.
Well, honestly, I didn't know I liked cooking. It was more of a necessity for me. At the time, I had to move in with this one. I lost my job, and I didn't have a home, and she was 6 months into her townhome, and she let my daughter and I come stay with her. And since I couldn't pay her, I said I better cook for her so that way she'll keep me for a little while. So I started cooking out of necessity because I wanted, when Jenna came home, I really wanted her to have a meal. I wanted to earn my keep in her home. And then from there, I got my own place, and then I got a man. So I had to cook for him, and then over time, I started to enjoy it. You know, people
kind of rubbing it in a little bit.
No, I'm saying I got a van.
I'm cook for myself.
Yeah, you gotta eat too. But you know, before that, I really didn't have a reason to cook. It was just me and my daughter. When I started working, I was working 10-hour days. So honestly, McDonald's was it. We hit that McDonald's, we hit that Subway, and so we really weren't getting any real meals. We were basically waking up early, getting home late every single day. Let me get that from you, Jane. Every single day I was getting home after 7 o'clock at night. And so when you're working those type of days and those type of schedules, you're just like, man, yeah, let's get in here on this McDonald's or this Subway. And that really came to my life. But when my husband came into my life, I said I wanted to make a better effort to try to, you know, bring our family together. So that's where the passion came in. You know, my daughter really appreciated coming home and having a cooked meal. My husband, he really appreciated that. And so it kind of just built from there. And then friends were like, that's really good. Can you do that again? X, Y, and Z. And before I knew it, I loved it. Okay. So what I just did is I took the seafood, basically the renderings from the seafood that we had over here, and I took some of the renderings from the sausage and the bell peppers. And we're going to use this to kind of start our base for our seasoning. Now I took out some of the, you can bring it over here, Jana. There was a lot left over, and this is what Lysandria, this came out of Lysandria. You see how it's greasy? That's what I'm saying, we didn't need that much more butter. I'm going to add a little bit back because this has crazy flavor, you guys. So we're just going to add a little bit of that. And I'm going to add some wine because this girl loves her wine. You can get any kind of wine. A lot of people will say you can get cooking wine. I don't like cooking wine. It's okay, but it's really just honestly better just to pick up a bottle of wine. Chardonnay has a little bit of a sweet undertone to it, and for what we're doing today, this works. So again, I am going to eyeball this. You don't need a lot, just a little bit, okay? So that's the start of that. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of lemon juice. Okay, and that was maybe a half a teaspoon. So now we're going to start actually building it, okay? So heavy cream. Heavy cream is so important when you are trying to build a Cajun-style cream-based type of sauce, okay? Actually, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. There's one thing I need to add to this that's a little different than when I'm normally just making a Cajun sauce. We're going to actually add tomato. This is just Italian diced tomatoes because this actual Cajun meal for papados does call for that. I'm not going to use the whole can. You really want something, it says that it's diced, but a lot of times when I get it, it looks more like spaghetti sauce already, which is another reason I don't use a lot of it. I'm going to grab another spoon here. Now, if you don't have this, you can also use tomato paste. It's like a little paste that you get in the spaghetti section of the store. And we're just going to add some to this, okay? And again, we're just going to mix that in. And we want to kind of just get this cream cheese in there. It also helps to thicken up the sauce. That's another reason I just like cream cheese. So son, I want you to take over, okay? Again, we just want to get all those chunks out of there, okay? Okay. And once those chunks is out, and as Lysandra is stirring, I'm going to actually start stirring in some of the heavy cream. And so Lysandra, what we're going to start doing, I'm going to go ahead, just keep stirring. I'm going ahead and start adding some of this heavy cream.
It smells amazing already.
Cream. So what we're going to start doing now is we want to add some Parmesan cheese. Kroger, you get this from Kroger, but it tends to be a little bit more expensive. So if you want to do the Romano with the shaker with the powdered consistency or the one that has the, was it shredded version, that's okay too. That's really going to be up to you. But this is what I like, so this is what I use. And again, if you are a cheese person, go ham. So it's really up to you. Alright, so now what we can do, we built our sauce, we've sauteed all our foods. The only really thing left to do is put everything back in the bowl. So what we'll start with is we'll put the sausage and the peppers in. So we start putting back the meats in here. And again, this is going to make this taste even more crazy. I wash my hands, so yeah, I'm going to dig in here and grab it. Okay. Okay, and we're going to add the crawfish in there. Okay, so a little bit of crawfish. And then the shrimp. You want to hand me that shrimp, LaSandra? Go ahead and put that shrimp in there for me if you would.
Sausage is spicy.
Yeah, that andouille sausage. Now, this was a spicier sausage. Okay. And again, as it cooks, then the shrimp that we kind of somewhat cook, it'll cook down some more, okay? All right, so we got everything in here. So now the only thing to do, really,
Oh, it looks great.
is to add the pasta. I'm just going to take some of this pasta over here so I can pick it up. So basically now, I'm just going to add some of this on there. Just make sure the noodles are all in there good. Alright, so what I like to do then, and it's just extra, if you're trying to make it cute because you got a date coming over and you want everything to just be extra cute because he's coming over, then you get your little pasta and you kind of swirl it on there a little bit. You want to make sure you get all the meat in there. Fish on there. And then what I'll do, go over here and add a little bit more Parmesan cheese. And if you guys like more tomatoes, you can add more tomatoes if you want that more. Sometimes it looks a little redder than this. One of them green. We got any one of them green onions from earlier? Chop up a green onion. Sprinkle that on top of it. Like so. And then I add a little.
I would have been done it when I put it in a bowl.
Yeah, just a little for just color. Yeah, so you would want to go ahead and toast your bread, add some garlic, and you got like some pesto or some butter, and then just like put it in there, and you'd be like, bam, what? Let's just make it look cute. And that's it. So just like that, we're done. I know these girls have done a great job, so I'm awesome. Girls, try it out. Let me know what you think. Now, Jane, I know you had this recently at Snug Bear. Is that what it's called?
The Snug.
Okay, so what do you think?
It's really good. I probably add a little more cream, but you know I like gravy. But it's good.
So, like I was saying, if you want it really, really creamy, just go ahead and keep some of the sauce to the side, and that way you can add to it more because noodles do absorb. So if you want more and more cream base, have that. But the great thing about any kind of pasta dish is that it usually is the only one of those things that always tastes better the next day. You can freeze it, and so you can eat on this for a while. So this was our first time at it. I hope you enjoyed watching us having a good time in the kitchen. Please do check out my Facebook page, Time to Eat. And I will be having a web page coming up really, really soon, so I hope you guys can check that out. And this may be one of the dishes that'll be on there. So if you don't feel like making it, like I ain't got time for that, I don't want to be in the kitchen, then holler at your girl. But we're going to just keep enjoying ourselves. So she cooks, and so do my girlfriends.